Hello, everyone out there. Welcome to another episode of Gary's Wisdom. I'm your host today, Gary, and I want to talk about people that look like me. People that look like me is very deceived. They're very deceived. I hear things on the internet such as, I'm a strong, independent black woman. I don't hear people out there saying, I'm a strong, independent white woman. I'm a strong, independent German woman. I don't hear I'm a strong independent Latina woman. I don't hear I'm a strong independent Irish woman. I don't hear I'm a strong independent Asian woman. I only hear these type of words from people that look like me. And it's in my opinion, I think it's a very bad mindset to have because you're kind of you're kind of being you're kind of highlighting that you like being singled, and you kind of giving off a bad vibe that you're not really interested in a relationship. How that sounds, it just sounds bad in my opinion. Doesn't sound good. If a guy meets a lady that looks like me, if she said, "Well, I'm a strong, independent black woman. I don't need no man for nothing," and it's like, okay. I mean, I had that said to me before, and I'm like, okay, well, if you're this, and what do I stand a chance to come a part of your life? Or do I stand a chance to come across dating you? You already have this mindset of you don't need no man for nothing. So what am I here for? You know? If we walking down the street in the alleyway or something like that, coming from the movies late night or something like that, somebody run up on us, what am I gonna do? Hey buddy, go ahead. She's a strong independent black woman. What's that? Do whatever you want to her. She can defend herself. She's strong and independent. If we're sleeping in the house together and stuff like that, if we want to be in a relationship, somebody knocking, breaking the door or something like that, hey, don't worry about calling 911. Don't worry about me going downstairs to protect you. You're a strong, independent black woman. Go handle it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hide under you. You know? So, stuff like that, when you say those words like that, when you have a mentality like that, you got to be really careful how you use it because some people want to use it because they're accomplished at the moment. And just because you might have a degree, you might have a job, you might be successful, you might have a business, doesn't mean that you're always going to be in a good situation. You might lose your business. You might be in a car accident. Anything can happen to you in life that can hurt your circumstances. So you'll never know who you might need. So my advice to you is to be humble. To be really humble and watch what you say because when you say words like that, you gotta people gonna hold you accountable to that. Not just with the things that are going well, the things that you're good at, the things that you can be independent with, things you can handle, but the things that you can't handle as well. Because you summon everything up, you know? It's like being a fighter. It's like being a boxer and say, "Hey, I can beat any fighter in the world." Well, okay, if you could be any fighter in the world, you know, don't just pick on the little people. Don't just pick on the people that don't weigh as much. Don't just pick on the people that's not as tall. But you got to be able to beat the people that's like 6 foot, 300 something pounds as well. When you say I can beat every fighter in the world, or I can beat every man in the world, when you say things like that, you got to be able to go through with it. Well, people are going to expect you to go through with it. So like just like when you get your driver's license, people gonna expect you to drive a car. People not gonna expect you just okay. I just want to drive Hondas. I just want to drive Fords. I just want to drive Pontiacs. I just want to drive Ferraris. No, they want you to drive all the cars if you have a license. They expect you to know how to drive. So yeah, I think in the people that look like me, in the parents' household, it's really important to have a beautiful personality because our good role models are gone. They passed away or they was taken from this earth by force. People like Martin Luther King, people like Fred Hampton. People like Huey Newton. Look up these people. These people was a good representation of people that look like me, and people and so many people that I'm not even saying. There's so many people that's not even a part of history that did so much for the people that look like me. And what I'm seeing now is the people that look like me. The women, they're talking and acting like men, and the men is looking and acting like women. Now, what do I mean by the women acting like men? Yo, bro, yo, bro, yo, bro, yo, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, what is that? What is that? The characteristics. And why do we have to be the loudest? Why can't you conduct yourself as a normal individual? No. If it's somebody that looks like me, they gotta stand out by being the loudest, the most noisiest, the most ignorant in public. That's why we get looked at the way we looked at. Not everybody's like that. But if you already got a highlight when you walk out that door, if you look like me, don't you want to be a little bit careful of how you act? And what do I mean by the men looking and acting like women? Well, the men, they act like women. They're very emotional. They're very emotional. They're very loud. They're very sensitive. That's because they don't have a good positive male role model in their life. And the reason why they don't have a positive role model in their life because either one, the mom don't know who the dad is, or two, the dad don't want to even be in the mom's life because the mom is just simply just not a good person. Mom was attractive, but she's just not a good person. He doesn't want to be a part of her life under those circumstances. And it's not always because the guy don't want to be a father. It's just he don't want to be a father under that circumstances with that lady. Now, it takes two to tangle. I don't condone having kids out of wedlock. I don't condone having kids off a temptation in the right moment. I don't condone that because I want both of the children to have mom and dads growing up and be there for each other, really respect each other. You need to start taking being a mom and a dad and dating very seriously because they all connected together. Because these children growing up out here, they're lost. If they're lost, they're searching and trying to find something. And guess what's available? Social media. And how do they represent us in social media? They represent us by rap music. And what's on rap music? What's the rappers look like for men? They look like girls. They look like girls. They have long hair like dreads. They have long hair. They're wearing tight clothes. They're getting their nails done. They're wearing makeup. And they're wearing tight jeans like spandex. They look like girls. I don't condone that. I don't condone that. I think that just don't look right in my opinion. And it's helping destroying the people that look like me. So I encourage you all to carry yourself well, be humble, be respectful, and take dating seriously. If you don't want to marry a person, do not have a kid by a person. What can help you out with that is simply every time you have intercourse with a lady, assume that she has some type of sexual transmitted disease. Then you'll take things seriously. then you will put a condom on. If you look at it like that, be smart and be wise. For the, for the people out there that looks like me, for the women and the men, love each other, respect each other, and carry yourself as a decent person, and be there for your children, and spread love to each other. I love you all. Thank you for watching Gary's Wisdom.